Hey guys, it's Becca. How y'all doing today? Today I wanted to share with you a finished object and all my WIPs that I have going on right now. That kind of took a back seat when I was making all the hats, and then a little bit of acquisitions that I had gotten. So I'm going to start by showing you guys the finished object of the diamond painting that I had done of the dragon wrapped around the hang on one second. Okay. Wrapped around the cross, the Gothic cross that I've been working on for a while now. I've been doing in a few of my diamond paint and chats. I had told you guys I would show you. So here is the finished product. Absolutely gorgeous. I love whatever they did on these drills that made it iridescent looking rather than just shiny. It's got kind of a iridescent look to it. Husband loves it. Getting ready to order a frame for it. And then when the frame comes in, I'll show you guys how I frame it up. So that's my only finished object right now that I finished before we left for the wedding. And the diamond painting that I did in the car, a little bit in the hotel room, not a whole lot. And then in the, just sitting around when I want to take a little break from crochet. Little by little, I mean, an evening or something. I've been working on Under the Sea. And this is the one I'm working on currently in my paint and chats. But as you can see, I've finished pretty much this whole section. There's a little bit right here that I need to put in that you can see is blank with the symbols. But what I did finish is the hair, which came out really, really pretty. See, it's shiny, but it's not real iridescent looking like that other one. The drills are just a little bit different. Now these are round drills, that's square drills. I enjoy putting round drills down better because they're spaced out enough. You don't have to worry about the drills popping up. What I mean by popping drills, let me show you real quick before I bounce into my crochet WIPs. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on camera. If you look real close at it like this, I don't know if you can see all the drills that are standing up on end rather than being completely flat and flush. If you can't, I'm sorry about that. But basically, the thing that drives me insane with some of these, and that one's popping right there. I take a rolling pin and I roll out these diamonds hard. They click into place, but depending on who you order from, they'll just keep popping back up. Like they need to be pushed back down again. Sorry, I'm out of frame here for a second. Let me set this down. So basically, the only way that it ever stops doing that is once it's in the frame. And most of the time you have to put some kind of Mod Podge or something on it to make sure that they're not going to go anywhere. These ones are staying okay. They are popping, but they're not coming off. And so I think once they're in the frame, they'll be okay. The other diamond painting that I had a problem with for that was Crystal, the Freddie Mercury one that I had done for her and sent to her, had really bad popping drills too. And so that one I had to put Mod Podge on and wait for it to dry and stuff like that. But for me, it takes away, because the Mod Podge that I have has a little bit of glitter in it, or a lot of glitter in it. And it ends up taking away from the way that it's supposed to look. It's got its look, it's got its shine, it's got how it's supposed to be. And when you put the Mod Podge with the glitter, to me, you have to be really careful how much you put on there. And sometimes it kind of covers up the image. And if you put it on too thick, it's gonna really, really cover up the image. So that's what's going on there. Acquisitions. Recently, I don't know if you guys have seen, but Cheryl from, oh my gosh. I'll put it in the description box. You guys can, I'm so sorry, Cheryl. It's just, I'm tired today. Cheryl had ordered a bunch of mandala yarn and comfy cotton yarn. Not ordered, but went and picked up. She went to 5 different Walmarts trying to find all of them because they were all on sale for $3 or $3.50. So that we could purchase it from her at that price, and you know, just to generally do a nice thing, a nice gesture. So I had asked her, because I was watching her video and I knew she had an order of people and what they wanted, and she had to kind of go through and figure out what people wanted what. And so I told her I want to make like a Cowboys themed blanket for my son. And so I asked her, you know, I'd like to get all the navy blue you have. So this one is called Spectrum, actually. So it's the comfy cotton, and it's Spectrum. And so this whole blanket will be made with cotton. And she had, let me see. Like I said, it's Lion Brand Comfy Cotton Blend. And this color is Spectrum. It's a 3-weight light. Recommended crochet hook is a 6mm. I haven't come up with a plan yet on what stitch I want to use for his blanket, but I'm thinking. So there's one, this is the bag that I got from her in the mail. So the other color that I got was the same comfy cotton blend, same specs as far as lightweight 3, 6mm hook, and this one's called Silver Lining. So I've got the blue and the silver. I don't know if I'm going to try to incorporate white or not, but I think I'm probably just going to go with the blue and the silver, because I don't even know if comfy cotton has a white, and I kind of want to stick with the same yarn. So that's the silver one. Again, Silver Lining. So I knew she had a long list of people that wanted everything, and so I waited until waited my turn in line, and so I was able to get, let's see, I don't want to make too much noise here. Apologize if there's any crinkling. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. I don't have anywhere to put it right now. This is not easy to do quietly. Let me unload it real quick, and then let me pause and do that. Okay, so there is a total of 12 of the Spectrum and a total of 6 of the Silver Lining. So it should be enough to make it's not really a lapgan, it's more of in between a lapgan and like a, you know, it's a throw, you know, just a basic throw like this. I want to make the size of a big throw that you would get from the store to kind of throw on you when you're sitting on the couch and you're watching TV and it's a little cooler. Like I said, these are going to be Christmas gifts, so it'll be cold when those are given to them, and they can be all cozy and warm and think of mom. The next acquisition that I got was from Amazon. I have been falling in love with making stitch markers. I want to make a bunch and just randomly send them to people. Plus I think I'm going to include it in my secret giveaway. So make sure you comment. So I got some stitch markers from Cheryl, and they had the numbers on them for the number hook you're using, and that to me is amazing. I love using them. I use them every time I make a project, Cheryl. I just need more than one for each, because you know there's so many different projects you can be doing with the same size hook, and it's so helpful to throw it on your project bag. Like this is my project bag that I'm currently using for all of my Annie's stuff, and I have this stitch marker on here because it came on it. But when you're doing the Annie's Kit Club block of the month, you're using a 5 and a 5.5 millimeter hook. Genius to have that on your bag to be able to use. And that way you can put it away, put it to the side, move on to your next WIP if you happen to take a little while in between. Me, I just have a terrible memory completely. I mean, I try to remember stuff, but no. So I bought some of the numbers in a silver. I just love silver. I think it's so pretty, but because all my other beads are like teals and turquoises and stuff like that, I thought silver would really pop. So I already put them in the little box. But yeah, so that's one of the little boxes. I filled up 2 of them with the numbers. So I ordered those. And then I wanted to do charms, and it's been bugging me how a lot of the people I'm seeing that are getting stitch markers have like yarn stuff on them. I think that's so important. We need yarn stuff on our stitch markers because we're using yarn, and I think that, you know, we should have that. So I got the cutest. I don't even know how to show you. Like, it's so tiny. Well, there we go. Look at that. It's a sheep. A little sheep. That is so fitting, right? They're adorable. So I got 2 boxes. No, way more than 2 boxes of that. I got 3 full boxes of those because they come in like bulk on Amazon. So if you're going to be making a lot, that's a good place to get them. And then I came across these. Now, I kept typing in yarn or crochet, trying to come up with stuff, and they were all coming up like knitting. And I was like, no, I'm wanting just a ball of yarn if I can't have, you know, crochet hooks in it or whatever. So I found this little ball of yarn. I don't know if it's focusing, but it says yarn. And I got a whole bunch of those too. And then I didn't just want to have that. I wanted to have like an array of different ones. And so I just got a big bulk bundle of different charms. Like that one says made with a smile. There's so many different ones, so I can't really show them all. But, you know, it's like a little kitty cat. Oh, man, it's so small. It's like a little kitty cat. There's a lot of different types of cats. Butterflies, sunshines, hearts. Some of them have writing on them. Just gorgeous. So, yeah, I got about 1, 2, 3 boxes worth of that. And then they came with a cloth for shining them up and some wire, which I don't know if I'll use or not, because I already have the little pre-made sticks with everything on them. So yeah, and I might put together a little tutorial showing you how I make a stitch marker, but again, I'm left-handed, so hopefully you guys would be able to forgive that and still learn something. The last acquisition I have for you today is the next month's Annie's Crochet of the Month Club for the Block of the Month Afghan. So the colors are starting to repeat themselves. And they send you a lot. Like, this is the next shipment of yarn. It's in the chinchilla color. Again, I've shown this before. And in each one, you get a pamphlet, you get 2 skeins of yarn, and then they show you where on the blanket that they will go. So you need to save it till your ending. They give you extra yarn so you have enough to do borders and to attach each square. So hang on to your yarn. And then they give you where'd that go? Oh, a picture of each block, and then the tutorial. So, and every block on the Afghan will be completely different. So it's a lot like the unraveled mitten squares, with every block being different. But this one is just color coded, comes with the yarn for that month and a pattern for 3 blocks. I'm very behind. Very behind. So last night I sat and I did 1 month's worth in the cream color. And they use Premier Everyday Yarns, anti-pilling. Absolutely love it. When I first got this yarn, I thought it was like a, hang on a second. Okay, if you hear dogs barking in the background, they're not mine, they're the neighbor's dogs. We have this thing now, we had new neighbors move in a couple months back and they have dogs. And my dogs are used to there being nobody in the backyard over here. So it's a game all day long. Up the fence, down the fence, up the fence, down the fence. I can make my dog shut up. I can't make their dog shut up. So anyway, when I first got this yarn, I thought it was a luxury yarn. I'd never heard of it. I've never seen it. But like I said, I've never been in a Joann's. The only fabric store, yarn store, craft store that I've really regulatedly gone to is Hobby Lobby. And of course they don't sell it. So I didn't even know what it was, Premier. I will say every Premier yarn that I have ever used has been exquisite. Soft, plush, works up beautifully. Just the feel of it is what I like the most. It's just so gentle. And when you have fibro, your fingers can get kind of funky feeling. Like I can't really make a whole lot of things out of Red Heart Super Saver. I think things that are made with it come out looking beautiful because it holds its weight up when you're making amigurumi or you're making, you know, hats or anything else like that. It does work up really nicely, but I can't touch it. If I work with it for too long a time, I start to lose feeling in the tips of my fingers, and it just feels, it's just hard for me to crochet with it. So when I felt this yarn, it was just heavenly, absolutely heavenly. So this is the color Cream. And in this one, the 3 blocks, I wonder if, I don't think they're not named, I don't believe. Let me look in this one to see. Yeah, they're not named. It's just block 1, block 2, block 3, and it keeps going 4, 5, 6 the next month, 5, 6, 7, or yeah, there's 3. Okay. So this is the first square that I finished. This one was just half double crochets. So that's the first one. So this will be a WIP for a while because I'm trying to get so many things in between done. This one was a lot of fun to make and I think it came out really, really pretty. I've seen this stitch from some of you guys on other podcasters' channels, Facebook, things like that. I don't know the name of it still because like I said, they're just numbered and block numbers on there and not. But I just think it's really, really pretty. It works up super fast and it's got the like 5 double crochets. It's super simple. Just a 2-row repeat. And it goes by really, really, really fast. I think I made this in 10 minutes. So that's the second one. And then this third one was a little more intricately. Took me a minute to learn how to do this one. I wish I could tell you guys how it's done, but I don't want to give the pattern away. It just has a lot of different chaining and stitching, and I'm trying to fix it. I had them folded up in there. I can never tell what the right side of it is, but yeah, but it came out lovely. I got confused. I had to frog it, I think twice. I don't like written patterns. I have a hard time because everybody interprets written patterns differently. So when you write a pattern, you write it how you understand it. So when you have other people trying to do it, you might not speak the same language and they might not get it. But these ones are generally easy to follow for me. But this particular one, I just had a little bit of trouble because it wasn't very, one thing I guess I can say is at the end of each row, you have to, you know, at the end, you either do a double crochet or a single crochet or something, but it doesn't specify whether or not you need to chain in between there because you'll be chaining all along the whole row and it'll say end with a single crochet. And so you're like, well, do I chain and then end with that single crochet, or do I just end with the single crochet? Well, I kept having to frog it because I was trying to do it just the single crochet or just the double crochet, and that wasn't right. There, you did have to chain, and it didn't tell you that you had to chain. So that I had to figure out on my own, and I don't like having to figure things out on my own. The thing I like about tutorials is I don't even have to look at what they're doing. I just listen to what they say, pause it, do what they said, unpause it, listen to what they say, and it's easier for me to work. I can blindly work on something usually, depending on how hard it is, but on some of the tougher stuff like hats, I need to watch. So that right now is my WIP for the Stitch Sampler Afghan from Annie's Crocheting Afghan Block of the Month Club. I'll be working on that more just when, you know, my husband's not quite ready for bed, but he wants to go to bed soon, and I got maybe like a half an hour or something, and I don't want to start up a new project, then I'll just, you know, bust out a square. I definitely need to get caught up on my unraveled mitten block of the month, or not block of the month. Unraveled mitten squares. The next thing that I started, it's the last thing actually, I think. My daughter-in-law loves like sugar skulls and stuff like that. And I bought this yarn from Ice Yarns a long time ago. It was back when I bought the yarns for my son-in-law's blanket and the shawl that I had made. Because I knew I wanted to make this shawl for her, but I kept putting it in the back of my mind, and like I said, I always forget. So it popped in my mind when I saw the yarn, because I have a storage set of 3 crate-looking chests that vary in size, and that's where all my yarn goes. I do put some yarn in the sections over here, and then I have another one of these over there that's taller. And then I have some of those cube deals, and I just stuff it in the cube. Until I get a craft room, I don't have a whole lot of room to put stuff, so we bought the crate dealies when they went on sale at Hobby Lobby, and that's where I keep all of my yarn. And so if I don't take the top one down and the middle one down and get into that bottom one and see what yarn I have in there, I'm not going to remember to do something. If I see the yarn, then it comes back to me. So she loves the skulls, and Fiber Spider has a wonderful set of tutorials. I think there's like 4 of them for the skull shawl. And so that's what I'm making for her for Christmas, because I already made my son that big blanket I showed in my first video of the checks blanket, the white, gray, and black. If you didn't see that, go back to my very first video, and I show it in there. So that's the one I made for my son. So for his wife, I made a shawl because I love her and I know that she'll wear it. Not everybody likes to wear shawls. So the yarn that I'm using is the Magic Glitz. It's still in the, well, this one's not. I have to make a little crinkle to see the colorway. It's the Magic Glitz Gray Shades Purple. Okay. Gray shades, purple shades, blue, silver. They now have their creative names at Ice. But this is the colorway. Now this is the skein I'm using, so it's a little wonky, but it's just absolutely gorgeous with all of that. They put, like, you know, the tinsel you put on the tree, just one strand of the tinsel, and when they wind the yarn. So it just makes it real glitzy and real pretty, and I just think it's going to work up absolutely gorgeous. So this is it so far. And if I place it on my shirt, you should be able to see the cute little skulls. And so there's one here, and then 2. And then there will be, let's see, 1. There'll be 5. There might be 5. He tries to put them catty-cornered in betweens, and so these 2 skulls are on the outsides of that bottom one, and then the next row, they go in between each one. So it ends up being more. But I think it's coming out really pretty. I am enjoying making it, but I know because of the way that my mind works, and there are so many different stitches to build up the skull and put in the in-betweens, that I'm gonna have to keep going back and watching each video over again when I get to that row until I'm confident in building it on my own. I mean, there's a lot of rows that you have to repeat and trying to keep track of them all. Probably what I'll end up doing, which is what I normally do if I'm watching a tutorial with a harder stitch, I'll just jot down, you know, like an abbreviated version of each row, and then just look down at it, and then I can work it up real quick. That way I'm not having to watch them do it or explain, you know, in detail. I just have it there. I can glance down. But for now, I'll probably watch his tutorials a little bit more in depth as I go, because I started this before we left. I think the night before we left, I was just sitting there. I'd already had everything packed up to go on the trip, so this was my only yarn I had out, and so I got started on that. So that's all of my WIPs I have going on right now, and my acquisitions and my finished object. Like I said, when I get the frame for that diamond painting, I will do a video showing you how I frame it. I do have another one from my first 2 videos that I had made for my daughter. I have not put that in its frame yet because I had intended on making a video showing you how I frame it, and I just haven't gotten to it because I keep forgetting. But that's that. I gotta find a home for all this comfy cotton and get all of these hats set up in the box so that they can go out in the mail, because I forgot to do that. Haven't done that yet. But they need to get out because we're running on the deadline. I meant to take them out this morning, and oops, husband came home for lunch. So sorry, Amber, but they will go out this afternoon. I hope you guys enjoyed spending time with me. I enjoyed spending time with you. And until next time, I'll see y'all later. Bye.